Welcome to the box, people. We want to talk to you today about Johnny Depp suing Amber Heard. And if you don't already know, a lot of this has to do for an op-ed she wrote in 2018 in the Washington
She
Post.
didn't name him.
She didn't name him, but originally she had. And we know now that a lot of that stuff was supposed to so everything was cleaned up, I guess, like a big edit, right? And then it wasn't as interesting. So I guess the Washington Post, whatever, didn't want it. I don't know all those details, but um, and then she wanted that stuff back in to make it more exciting. So, just so you know, I want to be very clear. Hashtag I stand with Johnny Depp.
My dog got stung by a bitch.
I cannot find my key. Oh my
James,
God, I gotta pee.
James Franco hit my knee.
My favorite is there's one guy and he's like, I think he said something like, my squirrel got bit by a flea. It's so funny. We're gonna share a TikTok. Hopefully by the time this is out, we are putting it out this week. This one, but Tina's going to be editing together a little TikTok thing that we're going to be putting out. Yes, she is. A promise, not. And so anyway, but Tina, let's take it over to you.
Okay. I want to start this off by
Okay, are you
saying,
done? No, I'm just kidding.
I think we should change the name to Box Person. But anywho, I want to start off by saying this is in no way us bashing Amber Heard.
I'm ready to share more information. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Why don't you kick it off?
I'm just kidding, Tina. Go ahead. I'm super funny.
Super funny. No, but I think it's important. Like, I can't speak on behalf of Sunny. Shut up. But it's important, I think, to go in um, without being too biased. Like, if you're a Johnny Depp fan, it's easy. Well, I'm just saying, it's easy to be like Team Johnny, and I know it's hard for like victims to come out, but the way this is playing out is very different. So now my issue with it. It seems more and more that she's not being entirely truthful. She's been caught in lies. And what breaks me, and I'm sure.
And she pooped in his bed.
Right, the Amber Turd situation, right. What breaks me is real victims that it's got to be like insulting to them, because it's hard to come out as a true victim of domestic violence or of anything. And this feels like it's being cheapened, like. So anyway, we're gonna discuss our thoughts and some key things that we noticed. But one I want to say right away, because me and Sunny have discussed this whenever the trial is going on. One of the things I found interesting is the amount of time she would beg him to stay. And I luckily have not been a victim of domestic abuse, so I can't speak on behalf of other victims, real victims, but I don't think it takes any type of expert to why would you want your abuser to stay? And why were you only videotaping? Why were you only recording when like he was angry? If he was hitting you and you were on the dirty carpet staring at each fiber wondering why it was so dirty, why didn't you whip out your phone while you were on the ground? Why didn't you whip, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that she has explained happening in phases. Well, he slapped me once. Oh, he slapped me again. Oh. Like after the first slap, maybe
But
start
the
recording.
thing is, I like to mention is that that's not really what she was doing. And one of the things I just really want to mention as a storyteller myself and someone who has paid attention to key details, because, as you know, there was a long time where I was like, I'm going to be a detective. right? Like all these things, right? So I know the voices, you're so over it, but I like doing them. So anyway, so one of the things I have noticed in my lifetime is that someone in my life as a child who would fake cry and there would be no tears. And I can remember a friend of and someone I was really close to at one time. They were sitting in the front seat of the car. The other person I've been close to was in the passenger seat, and the person in the passenger seat was pretending to cry. The person driving turned to me and said, "There's no tears," but she mouthed it. "There's no tears." That is something to pay attention to, because you can't, you cannot, when you're speaking of something real, when you're speaking of something painful and traumatizing, you relive those moments. You don't act those moments, you relive those moments, and those are two very different things.
No, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, please.
No, I was gonna say you also brought up eye contact. So she doesn't seem to have an issue with making eye contact. Almost like if you notice when he's on the stand, he has trouble looking even in her direction.
Right.
Whereas she almost is looking to make eye contact, almost eyeing,
Yeah,
him.
waiting for something.
Yeah, not just him, but like the lawyers and stuff, and then the eye contact thing also, because obviously if you're a victim of abuse, you have trouble making eye contact with your abuser. But the other thing I wanted to gloss over too is why is she wearing outfits that he wore the day before, the next day, like almost similar, like. What?
I gotta be honest with you. I think I'm the only person in the world probably at this point who, I mean, I've noticed a couple small details that were similar, like the tie, it was the same brand, whatever. But for the most part, I haven't really totally picked up on that. But that's just me. Like,
Well, some experts that I've heard, well, so they say they were experts, say it's almost a form of psychological, uh, like she's playing at something. I don't want to call it abuse, but it's almost like to mess with his head. Like,
I remember you mentioning that. I had called you one day because I wanted to see if you were watching this whole thing, whatever.
never
And
happened. You just look down.
We had spoken about it, and one of the things I had said to you is, if it was true, if she was doing these things, I wonder if it was a form of, I'm watching you. Like, I'm watching you. I'm watching what you're doing. That's a good
point.
And the other thing too is, when someone crushes on someone or has feelings for them, they will mimic them. They will kind of, so like most of you, I'm not wearing them today, but most of you will notice I wear a lot of rings, or a lot of bracelets or things on my arms. That originally came from Johnny Depp, because
and your tattoo.
Yeah.
Show your tattoo.
Yeah. And so
where is it?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Show us your tattoo on your finger.
Okay, so Johnny Depp has a tattoo on his finger. It is not this. This is a Celtic cross. But what happened was, I think when I first noticed it, he had did a little thing at Pirates of the Caribbean where he literally dressed as Jack in Anaheim, California, at Disneyland, and he was on the ride. So like not on the ride, but he was in the ride. So he was standing like off. So as the boats came through, he would say something. They'd realize it was really Johnny. And that was the first time I noticed that tattoo. And then I looked it up. Like, is it a real tattoo, or does it have to do with Jack Sparrow? Right. And that's when I was like, oh, I think I'll get one there. Right. And so anyhow, yeah. So you kind of mimic people you crush on. But like the big rings that I wear, the big bracelets, it's because I dig his style. Right. And so you start to do that. So part of me thought, if it is true that she's doing these things, I wonder if it's because, well, no, she's lost him. She's not getting this guy back. Right. And I wonder if that's some way, if she realizes she screwed up. Like, maybe she still has feelings for him. Maybe she still loves him in some way, not in the love that he deserves, but in her own mind. Like perhaps she has some kind of feelings for him.
You got to wonder too. All these people talking on behalf of Johnny Depp, like friends and family. Obviously, well, they're not going to say anything bad, but even that funny witness, Alejandro, the one that did it from his car.
I dig that guy. I'm done.
Yeah, like I'm out. I'm out. But even he was like kind of, making fun of the fact of how dramatic they were being when they thought someone was breaking in, and
they're dogs.
Right. You see like all of Johnny's people stepping up. They're being, So then you have Amber, where Elon Musk and James Franco pulled out. I mean, backed out. I meant backed out, sorry. And
I did.
Then you hear the thing about Kevin Costner, where he
that blew my mind. Yeah, that blew my mind.
You told me about it. Go ahead. Tell the people what.
Okay, so Kevin Costner, basically said that, basically called Amber out and said that I guess they had broken up for a few days. Johnny and Amber had broken up for a couple days, and that she wasted no time showing up in his trailer naked. I don't know what film that's from, but apparently that film's something together, and that just blew my mind, because if you think about it, and the people she's dated, it just kind of makes me wonder if this is her way of like moving up a ladder. And I'm not even ripping on her, but I'm wondering if this is how things like in Hollywood, whatever, if she did this, because Kevin Costner is really well known, right? Just as Johnny Depp, just as Elon Musk, right? So you think James Franco, right? Like you think of these things and you wonder if this is her own power play. So, had she gone with Kevin Costner, had he given into that, lucky for Kevin Costner, he, didn't fancy her or whatever. And, apparently nothing happened. So, but you think about that, so we're dealing with someone. So when you don't have a relationship with someone and you're suddenly showing up naked in their dressing room and their home and their trailer, whatever.
And he's married. I think he was married at the time.
I don't know if he was married at that time or not, but even then, even if he wasn't, I am not going to go into, someone's trailer that I find attractive, without having any kind of relationship with them and be like, oh, here I am.
No,
like it's not something. I wouldn't do that.
No.
I value myself. I wouldn't do that.
No, I know. I'm agreeing.
Okay, well, you're saying it like a joke. Like,
there was also speculation that Elon Musk had bruising.
And you could see, yeah.
I don't know if anything did happen to him, but I hope that he comes out, only because, she needs to get help. Whether any of what she's saying is true or false, or, she's obviously assaulted Johnny. There is proof. She has admitted to punching Johnny. Yeah. She needs to get help.
So many recordings of it. Yeah.
Right.
When Johnny became emotional on the stand, when he was, reliving something that had taken place, you really saw it, and he wasn't making eye contact with people. And I think a lot of it is the shame that you feel as a victim of someone who's, and let me just say, for people that are listening, domestic abuse does not just happen with fists or a hand or whatever. It could be the way someone's talking to you. It could be withholding things from you. It could be a slew of things. So if you're in a situation, we are going to drop a couple numbers for you that when we post this on YouTube, we'll drop a couple numbers for you, that if you're in a situation and you're afraid or you're scared or you can't get out or whatever, it is scary to make a change. It is frightening to do that. But, we just urge you that, especially, just for you, like, everybody is worthy of a safe place to be. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you are undeserving of being safe. If you are in a toxic situation, you're no one in your life should be putting you down and making you feel less than. We are all deserving of love, and being cared about and being in a safe place. We are all worthy of that. And so, and I think too is like one of the things I like to see come from this is I think a lot more men are abused than we even know about. And I think a lot of that stems back to
Yeah, can we get
childhood.
over that stigma of men not being able to be victims of?
Yeah, men are victims. Men could be victim of rape. Like these are things that aren't talked about. But when we think about these things, you think everybody thinks, well, if a little girl was abused growing up, but no one says, what if a little boy was abused while he was growing up? And then these things happen, and then they're used to being hit. It almost becomes second nature. Like they're used to defending themselves. In Johnny's instance, it's not that he didn't love his mom. But we know now that his mom could be angry and verbalize some things. And so I just like to keep that in mind, that when you're growing up in those situations, like, and even if you didn't, if you're a man in the situation, one of the things I'd really like to see in this is men stepping up. Because as a mom, let me just say this, because as women, it's always like, well, if my daughter gets touched, well, let me tell you something. If your daughter comes after my son and says my son did something to her when he didn't, I think that's a crime. And so we should give men the same rights to be able to stand up and say, I've been hurt. Someone hurt me and it's made me lose who I am. And I think Johnny was very real when you hear the recording and he says, you're a made up thing in my head. You're a made up thing in my head. Because I think every one of us have done that, whether it was junior high or high school or as a full blown adult, where we meet somebody, they're saying and they're doing the right things. And then come to find out that this person is cheating. They're not who they are. They're not who they claim to be. You're catching them in lies. They are lying to you. They are not who they're claiming to be. So these are things like you really have to be able to figure out. So if things are happening, like, it could be scary and it could be difficult, and you have every right to stand up for yourself and be in a good place.
Yeah, very well said. I remember what I wanted to say, and I have a bit of a confession to make. So, look at your face. When this first came out a few years ago, and I don't think I stand alone in this. I've always been a fan of Johnny Depp. I think he's an amazing actor. I always thought he was a good guy. He went to he goes to children's hospitals, dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. He always seems to be giving back, seemed like a gentle soul. So a few years ago, when this came out, I think we as a society tend to believe the victim. So I have to confess that I was so disappointed because, this I didn't even know that they were married. I didn't know who Amber Heard. I'm still not sure who she is. Um, Nor do I care to find out at this point. But
Let her in your bedroom.
I have to confess that I tended to believe her because I didn't know her from a hole in the wall, and she was married to him. So what could she gain out of making? You're married to this guy, this amazing superstar actor. So I didn't see a reason why she would do that. So again, as a society, I think, how do you say this without sounding like it's not, I'm not saying don't believe victims off the bat, but Johnny should not have suffered everything he suffered, like losing the Captain Jack Sparrow part. Like it's supposed to be proven innocent until guilty, right? So when have we become, judge, jury, and executioner? Like, why are these? Well, it doesn't have to be an actor; it could be everyday Joe. Why are people? I think, especially men, when they're accused of these things, is very, again, it's a societal thing. I think where we're automatically believing the person that's saying these things without any proof. And I think I was one of those people that was like so disappointed, and I'm not proud of it, but I was like, I didn't really, I'm part of that problem. Like I should have, you know,
Right.
but this is me as a fan watching things unfold. This is not me as Disney who pulled the plug on Johnny before hearing his side out, like,
Even Johnny mentioned that,
yeah.
since when is he, I'm guilty until proven innocent.
That broke my heart when they said, what do you feel like you lost, or what, and he said, how did he, yeah.
Nothing short, I think he said nothing shorter than everything, or something along those lines. And, I just want to mention that because we talked about this too, is because I've been a Johnny Depp fan, once he got a little bit older. And I became this huge Johnny Depp fan. And I can remember thinking there's no way he did this. And the reason I said that is this is a guy, he was so young when he started. And, Nightmare on Elm Street. And no one had ever accused him. Now, he has 2 people coming this week because they go back to court on the 16th, which is tomorrow, where we're recording on the 15th. And I think there's 2 people, in defense of Amber Heard. And one of them is like an ex-girlfriend. I can't recall her name. And the reason she's coming forward, I think something to do with him throwing a wine bottle. But I want to say that throwing a wine bottle is not the same as hitting her. It's scary when someone does that. I am not okay. If someone threw a wine, I'm not going to be okay. But, I think that, I still, I just feel like there'd be a lot more people out against him. So, I just think that I don't believe he did any of this. I just don't. I think he's got some anger issues. I think he's got some stuff that he's got to deal with. But I do not think that he did all these things to her. I just don't believe it.
He's committed to those drug fueled, outbursts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you want to talk about this really quick. It looks like we're running out of time, but the tissue with the coke.
Okay, number one, let us say we don't know for sure that happened. We don't know for sure that she was snorting anything.
No. But just speculating on it.
But we could include a clip of it, I guess. Is that okay, Tina? Tina always does our edits. Good job, honestly. But there's a scene where, like, now keep in mind, if you're blowing, your nose, you tend to go, and your head tends to go. That's how you're breathing something in, right? Like, think of it. You have the Vicks inhaler all the time, right? You ever go and go down? No, you always go up, right? You carry Vicks inhaler all the time, But yeah, I don't know that she did anything, but it is worth talking about.
She took a shit in a bed. I don't think she's above. She tried to blame 2 little what?
That's what I was going to bring up. The puppies, and their puppies are like, so like my dog's laying over here, and he's a little black and white wiener dog, right? You guys have seen him. He's been on the show. And so Buster, I would know if between the human one and my little dog, and my dog is like 3 times the size of a Yorkie. Okay, so come on. Right. And can I just say, I love the relationship that Johnny has going on with his team. And I like that he'll eat, like, he says hello. He's even been great with the fans as he's leaving, and so I just think that that's incredible. And
when Amber's leaving, why'd you shit in the bed?
Yeah, that even killed me. But
you're narcissistic, bitch. Like, this is. Look, I'm not condoning it. I think
we're just saying. But I also want to mention, so my thought process is that Johnny is going to win this thing. You know, because let me just say, we are running out of time. We only have like 6 minutes left. But one of the things I wanted to mention is, so her lawyers try to get it thrown out, right? That's hearsay. And so anyway, they try to get it thrown out, and the judge was like, you know, there's clips of that too, where she's like, they have shown evidence, they have shown proof, they have the, you know, where, you know, the recordings, you know, even Amber's own recordings, right? And so, I mean, if you think about that, it basically just is protecting Johnny. Oh, and I wanted to mention this one thing before I forget, knock it off, Tina, is that whole thing where he's mad and he's slamming the cupboards or whatever. If I remember correctly, and I think Tina and I may have touched on this, I think his mom had just died on top of that. Not that I'm condoning like blow-ups or anything like that, but unless you've been through someone very close to you dying, you may not comprehend that. And so, and I got to tell you, in my relationships, you know, with people, that if someone was recording me without my knowledge, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to flip out. So, oh, Tina, you're being recorded. So anyway, so
What?
No, it's not funny. And so,
I didn't even hear you. You said it so fast.
I said, Tina, you're being recorded. And so anyway, I just think that that's something to think about in a lot of these videos, like what was going on. And one of them, she says, all I did was say I was sorry. And what my mind always goes back to, it's during the same recording with the kitchen, is what was she saying sorry for? What had she done that he, you know, because how many times has your partner done something and you're mad and they're like, I just want to say I'm sorry. And it's like,
right. And also to mention that he always wanted to walk away and she would physically stand in his way. And then he even says himself, the times that I did escape and he went to his own place, she would come at 3-4 o'clock in the morning
screaming,
and he had no choice but to, like, you know, deal with it.
right.
And I just can't imagine if I'm with Johnny and he's abusing me, I'd be so excited that he's leaving.
Right.
I'd not be begging him to stay. I
get that.
I don't know. But again, I've never been in a abusive, you know, domestic, so I can't speak on it that much.
Right.
But it just doesn't logically. If you look at things from a logical point of view, and the fact that her feeling, like, things don't match up when she's talking, and, you know, never mind there's no tears, but it's also like her lawyer is almost leading her into the answers, and then the way she looks at the jury.
Oh, even the Kate Moss thing, and you see the lawyer go like she didn't want the Kate Moss thing brought up at all.
Well, Johnny's lawyer was ecstatic.
Yeah, because even Johnny's lawyer, I think, went like down below the table. You see him turn, he's like, you know, so it's big stuff.
Hearsay.
So yeah, that's hearsay. I'm like, that's your client, or that's your witness. So I am on the side that I believe Johnny Depp is going to win, and even if for some reason he doesn't, I am still a fan of Johnny Depp. Because even if he didn't win, I still don't believe he did this stuff. I just will not believe it. And so we're going to get ready to close it out. We got 3 minutes on the clock. Tina, do you want to say anything?
I just want to say my sentiments are with Sunny, and I want to say that I'm incredibly proud of Johnny, because celebrity or no celebrity, to face them head on. And, you know, if she didn't do this op-ed, you know, may have not gotten further, but in a way, she did him a favor, because he finally got to speak. Remember when he said, this is the first time I'm getting to speak freely and speak, you know. So I have to say, celebrity, no celebrity, I'm very proud of him. He faced all this. It's got to be difficult. You know, he's revisiting all these things. So, Johnny.
Yeah, stay strong, man. Like, we believe in you. We love you. So I'm sure he's going to watch this. I mean, I'm sure everybody.
Yeah, no, but
go ahead.
I also wanted to say that I truly wish that Amber gets the help she needs. Like, seriously.
Absolutely. Honestly, because, yeah, for sure. You know, but as we close it out, I just want to say my dog stepped on a bee, but I believe in Johnny. All right, you guys. With that, you want to close it out, Tina?
Yes, thank you for watching.
Box people. Oh. Okay, love you guys. Bye. When people are lying, they tend to look down, they tend to, their eyes shift, right? But when somebody is recalling something, they look up, right? So they're recalling something that happened because it's in their memory bank, right? So they're recalling it.
And the
And
actions you said.
yeah, and so if you pay attention, one of the things about Johnny is that he does that. There's real emotion, right? Like there's real emotion when he speaks about something that happened. Um, and one of the things when it comes to being a victim is that, like, so if I've been hurt, if someone has physically harmed me, if someone has come after me, or if they have said things to me. So when someone says something to you and you're recalling it, hurts your heart. So a lot of times you'll grab your chest. Like it hurt me. I couldn't believe they said it. Right? Or if you're recalling something like he grabbed me by my hair, you're going to say he grabbed me by the hair. Like he hit me on the face, and you're going to grab where they hit you because you're recalling it, you remember it, right? These are key details. It can go back to your childhood. Like I remember when I got hit on the back really hard, and you might grab your shoulder or grab as close as you can get to that spot.